strange. This sword seems to be vibrating of its own accord. It's a very faint vibration, but does this sword have some connection to the statue? That place I got this sword from was definitely out of the ordinary. There really is something special about this. I don't really understand what just happened, but I'm pretty sure this sword just got a little more power. I'll have to try the same thing again when I come across another statue of the Seven. In the meantime,
keep up. How tiresome.
Hello there. How can I help? Ah, sure thing. Give me a second. I'll go fetch them for you.
It's a familiar story. I've had similar experiences. Although Snezhnaya doesn't deliberately delay or withhold relief, those first few days of waiting for help are always the hardest. It's a fundamental contradiction. If emergency relief can't be delivered in time, what's the point in even calling it emergency relief? Not necessarily. I think there's a good chance that Kresny Crystal from Stratomeros will start flowing into the market. When we resolve Stratomeros' energy issue, it's like we open the floodgates. A huge backlog of crystal is now available to the townspeople. There's no way they can use it up at once. A lot of them will probably stockpile it and slowly work their way through. Probably. Exactly. At the current prices, selling crystal is an easy way for an ordinary person to make a fortune. Hey boss, how much do I have left in my account?
1 second. Let me check. So, you're planning on buying the crystal out of your own pocket?
Yeah. I don't know if I have enough, so I'll chip in a little extra and buy as much as I can afford. No, it's fine. You're new to Snezhnaya, and you have your own living expenses to worry about. Besides, you're already providing the train.
Here's your Mora. See what you can find at the market, but I doubt there'll be much crystal left.
Yeah, well, can't hurt to take a look. Let's see. Huh?
Oh, Alosha, and... Hello?
I didn't realize you two knew each other. Yeah, I take on some odd jobs in the city to supplement my hunting income. Sometimes I work as a cleaner or prop hand at the theater where Odette is one of the big stars, so I've met her a few times. When the weather's as bad as this, it's better for a hunter to adapt than to keep looking for game.
Yes, and we sometimes need extra help.
Wait, why is the atmosphere so awkward? I thought things went pretty smoothly. So, what brings you here, Miss Odette? Looking for some new props?
No. After I got back to the theater, I couldn't stop thinking about the situation in Svietlolaidovka. It bothered me so much I couldn't focus on my dancing. So I decided I'd come here and see if there's anything I can do. You too, I presume. I suppose that's why you're here. I didn't feel comfortable expressing my true opinions in front of the Harbingers. Not least because ordinary Fatui like me don't even know what Project Stuzha is all about. Without knowing the full picture, I can't make sense of it. And it's
So many people feel the same way. They wish they could do something, but all kinds of reservations hold them back. Explains why groups like the Rokot are springing up to fill the gap.
Yes. Well, that's one option. But there are risks to consider with organizations like that. The Fatui does not encourage their activities.
Right, because things can get out of hand, and it's hard to hold the right people accountable when they do. I've heard about a few cases like that.
Sandrone said Odette was on track to inherit the title of the Fair Lady. If so, she'll be able to find out what Project Stuzha is really about. Still, it's probably a little soon to ask her about that. There may be more to the story. What's on your mind? I think we can both agree that no matter which side you're on, it can't stop you from doing the right thing. I know what Rosaline did while she was abroad. You made the right decision, so no hard feelings. So, what's your plan?
Oh, we were gonna buy some crystal. I heard there's some on the market right now.
Funny, I had the same idea. In that case, let me pay. I can claim it back as mission expenses. The real issue here is that government relief is behind schedule. Surely it makes more sense for the state to cover these costs than for us to pay out of our own pockets.
True. It's a huge expense after all.
Let me see. I'll take it all, please. And I'll be needing a receipt. Right. Choose mission budget under the expense category, but be sure to specify emergency rescue operation in the description. Otherwise, the normal reimbursement limit will apply. Let's book this train. Regulations say that if we need to transport Kresnik Crystal during Project Stuzha, extra carriages can be added 1 hour before departure. That should do it. The train will be escorted to its destination by Fatui guards.
This is my first time seeing you handle Fatui affairs, Miss Odette. It seems you're
You flatter me. It's only because I've been doing both my whole life.
Anyway, I bet you've been non-stop today, am I right? Any idea how Paimon's doing?
What's wrong? Who's Paimon?
Her travel buddy hasn't been feeling well. She caught a cold right after they got to Snezhnaya.
Sounds like she's important to you. I can't believe you've been dealing with this on top of everything.
I've got nothing going on right now, so I'll join you. I want to see how she's doing.
May I come too? I have some candy that someone gave me back in Svietlolaidovka. Plus, I know
All right then. I still don't know what the deal is between these two, but at least the tension's...
Come on, keep up. Pick up the pace. How tiresome.
Hello. Sorry, but there's a sick person recovering.
What happened?
Oh, please, excuse me. Are you the traveler? Ah, it's really you. Sorry for the inconvenience. We're under strict orders from Master Child to keep this room well guarded. At the same time, we can't interfere with Podvoye Restaurant's business. That would only seem all the more suspicious and draw unwanted attention to this room. Besides myself, a few of my colleagues are stationed in and around the restaurant, in plain clothes, of course. Rest assured, you're in safe hands.
I didn't expect such a high standard of protection.
Well, Master Child handpicked us for this special assignment. We're not about to let anything go wrong. Anyway, I won't keep you any longer. Please, head inside.
Traveler! Alosha, you're back! Oh, hey! Who's our new friend?
Hi, I'm Odette. The Traveler and I crossed paths a few times.
Another friend from the Fatui, huh? You're practically a member yourself by this point. Paimon's definitely on the mend. We should be back to our usual travels in a few days' time. Seems like that doctor was right. It's just...
I have just the thing.
Whoa! What's this? Is that a flame inside an ice cube?
All keen observations. You're right. This is called Core Ignis. Whenever I've caught a cold in the past, I found I recover much more quickly if I place this by my bed. You're welcome to borrow it.
Awesome! Wow! It's so nice and warm! Your name was Odette, right? How did you two meet again?
Looks like she's in pretty good spirits. That's a relief. Any progress with your investigation yet? No surprises there, I'm sure. They're not likely to let anything slip. The Rokad, huh? Members of the Rokad keep their true identities hidden, but I think there might be someone I can... Leave it with me. Meet me at the Korolyevsky troop tomorrow, and I'll tell you how it goes.
Would anyone like a drink? I'm gonna head to the bar.
Paimon will have... Enough with the secret chat, you two. Let's catch up properly in a minute. It'll be kinda like tabletop troop. No reason why listening to a story can't be up. Take a break. Come on, keep up. Pick up the pace.
Ah, you made it. I've got some tickets, and I managed to set something up with the Rokot. It'll have to wait until after the show, though. Happy to stay and watch? Pleasure.
Please present yourself for a routine inspection in accordance with theater regulations. Thank you.
Is that guy with the fatui? Looks like he's waiting for something.
Okay, all done. Thank you for your cooperation. Please proceed through to the theater.
What's up? Everything okay? Snezhnaya's business and political leaders are always passing through here, so it makes sense that still, it's a little unusual to see the Fatui's Armory Palace guard here. You saw him, right? The guy right at the back. He's part of the Special Assignments Battalion, but I only ever see him here for one thing: to look for a guy named supposedly a researcher, though he never seems to put much time in at the office. But that's not for us to worry about. What do you think? Pretty impressive, huh? Oh, the one in Fontaine? I hear it's iconic. Never seen it for myself, though. Here we are, just in time. Sorry, coming through.
Ugh. If you're gonna show up late, keep your mouth shut.
What's his problem? Whatever.
Look, there she is. That's who I'm introducing you to later. She's the lead singer of the troupe, Vodyanitsa. This leads directly to the green room. They're expecting us. Vodyanitsa will be waiting for us there. Hey there. Excuse me.
Can you believe it? I am so mad right now. Come in.
Oh, it's you two.
Huh? You know each other? Oh, wait. Is this who you were telling me about? one you met yesterday and couldn't stop?
I never said that.
Yes, you did. Why are you denying it? It was right before I went on that rant about the moody factory owner. Oh, I remember it so clearly.
Might I ask what brings you two here?
Oh, I just brought her here to see the show. And when it finished, she was full of praise for Vodyanitsa's performance. So I thought I'd try my luck, see if we could get the chance to chat for a bit. Maybe get an autograph?
You work here. You of all people ought to know that's against the rules. It's not what the green room is there for.
Oh, what's the big deal? Come on, don't be shy. I can give you an autograph. You can take a picture too if you want.
Do as you please. I finished all my shows for the day. I'll leave you to chat.
I wasn't making that stuff up, you know. Odette's just too proud to admit it. She thinks very highly of you. And so do I. You did the right thing in Svietloladovka.
We're good. Odette's out of earshot. I'll lock the door. Confidentiality, of course. The Rokot is very strict.
Whoa, Alosha! Not out loud! Not with an outsider.
Relax, I've taken care of it. Look at this.
The president's reply sent this morning. Wait, so she's been approved to join?
You told me last night that you wanted to get intel from the Rokot. Unfortunately, Rokot intel is only available to members. But ever since you set foot in Snezhnaya, we've been working together. I've seen that everything about you is perfectly in alignment with what we're trying to achieve in the Rokot. So I figured I might as well cut to the chase. I wrote a letter to the president explaining your situation, including just the right amount of detail. His approval came very quickly. Of course, it's still your decision whether you want to join or not.
Well, assuming Odette was telling the truth and she didn't misjudge you, I guess we don't need to worry about you blowing our cover. Still, you gave me a real fright. I didn't know that's why you came looking for me. So, that stuff you said about admiring my... Now you're talking. That's what I like to hear.
Anyway, let me give you a quick rundown of how things work. Like I said, members typically don't meet in person or even know each other's identities. This helps us maintain a high level of independence and secrecy. Because of this, members are basically free to decide their methods without constraints, so long as the outcome of any activity doesn't violate the organization's...
After all, we don't have any ostensible contact with each other. This way, if anything goes wrong, no one else will be implicated.
Beyond the freedom to choose how you operate, it's also your choice whether to act at all. We have plenty of members who have yet to take any action. In short, joining the Rokot in and of itself is a code of conduct you can read if it interests you. But basically, as long as you don't plan on using your anonymity to go around doing evil, you'll be fine.
I tried reading it 5 or 6 times. Never made it all the way through. Even the most...
Great. Then I'll go grab an official app.
Well, Alosha has this pet dog, you see. His name's Tagarin, and this one time, Alosha brought him backstage. Tagarin took quite a liking to me, so I played with him for a little bit and fed him some treats. Then, the Rokot was out on a mission one day, and even though we were all in disguise, Tagarin recognized me right away.
Just a coincidence, really. We didn't report it to the higher-ups, though, to avoid dealing with the fallout. Like... my job at the theater, for instance. I really needed to make ends meet. By the way, what were you complaining about just before we came in? Did everything go okay with Chuganov?
Everything did not go okay. That's why I was so mad. I tried to make some small talk with him before I went on stage to fish for intel about the Iskra manufacturing plant. But he wouldn't take the bait. No matter what I said, he kept dodging the question, and then he started complaining. He said he didn't appreciate his second-rate seat in the stalls because he usually gets I mean, what did he expect? Everyone knows that if you want a box seat, you buy a ticket well in advance. But instead, he a letter the day before the show when we're practically sold out. I had to juggle things around just to get him a half-decent seat, hoping he would appreciate the gesture enough to share some information.
Yeah, meeting Chuganov in person has definitely been a Oh, you probably don't know who we're talking about, do you? Chuganov was that older guy you were sitting next to today. I'm sure he didn't make a great first impression.
To the citizenry, he's a family man and a kind boss. But our interactions with him tell a very different story. It's one thing to ask for a favor, but he acts like it's his right. Take the ticket situation, for instance. I've actually gotten him a private box in the past. But not only was he not even grateful, now he's acting like I've sold him short this time. Not to mention that he's never paid for a single one of his tickets. And another thing, if he's such a big family man, why doesn't he bring his wife and—
Calm down, Vodyanitsa. If you won't do it the easy way, we'll have to try the hard way. But first things first. Here's your application form. Go ahead and fill it out.
Looks like I'll need to make a few little tweaks here and— Alright, now that we're officially Rokot comrades, I can tell you. Recently, we've done some recon work at the Iskra manufacturing plant, which pretty much confirmed that their energy consumption is way beyond the legal limit. All we need now is some direct evidence to present to the Vetcha, so we can demand—
That way, the Kresny Crystal can be allocated to where it's needed most.
I was hoping he might let slip during one of our chats. I'm meeting another regular theater goer tonight.
But Valeri's here too, and he's probably looking for Mitya, so he may end up being a no-show.
Don't you worry. He must know how to dodge Valeri, or he wouldn't be showing up on time for every— Mitya is a renowned energy expert. Although we can't get any direct evidence of the excessive energy consumption the authorities should take someone like him seriously. So if he starts raising questions about— Also, we're not allowed on site, but he has clearance. Yeah, so that's the other thing we're trying to figure out. Though I think we're far less likely to make any progress on that front. Still, I hear that Mitya is a bit of a chatterbox. So, who knows? Maybe if we catch him in the right mood, he'll let something slip.
What do you think? Sound like something worth your time?
Okay, in that case, you guys find a seat somewhere nearby. Pretend you're a couple of buddies there to eat, and keep your— He's a huge fan, so I doubt he'll have his guard up around me. But you two need to be convincing. If he's a—
Sure. Don't worry. We'll make a believable
Perfect! You've sold me already.
Okay. What needs tidying?
Everything!
Begin.
We come here often, so we shouldn't stand out. Let's sit here. Now, it's up to Vodyanica. Let's see how the...
Mr. Mitya! Over here! Oh,
Oh, sorry. I got a little held up on my way here. Now we have even less time than we planned. Go ahead and order some snacks and drinks. Whatever you like. Let me see. According to my schedule, we still have 25 minutes left.
you're really pressed for time today, huh? I was imagining this would be a leisurely chat. If you'd prefer, we can always reschedule for another afternoon when you have more time.
No need. Getting to meet the lead singer is a very precious opportunity for me. I'm not about to pass it up. I've already had to decline your invitation several times because our schedules rarely align. If I don't grab this chance while it's here, who knows when the next one will come around?
Well, it's very kind of you to make time just for...
I'm not too sure, to be honest. But Snezhnaya's full of weird and wonderful...
The reason I invited you out for tea and a chat today was to get some feedback from a true fan of the theater.
Well, I genuinely have nothing bad to say. No matter how many times I hear you sing, it never gets old. It always seems fresh and new somehow. Maybe it's because the more times I listen, the more details I notice. Or maybe you simply improve with every performance, delivering it better each time.
Thank you! I'm delighted to hear that! Could you give me any specific examples?
Oh, yeah. The piece you sang today, for example. Hey, what's with you? I'm just praising a good performance. I always used to find that such a bleak and lonely song. But the more you listen, the more you realize that it's not as cold and nihilistic as it appears. When you really dig down into it, there's a certain level where you're surprised by the emergence of hope.
Wow, I'm impressed. I didn't expect you to pick up on that. Actually, I only tried out. Still, Beneath the Frozen River wasn't on today's
Oh, really?
almost every time.
Oh, well then. Let me say a few words about that other all-time classic, Flying in the Wind.
I didn't sing that one today either. My voice wasn't quite up to it, so I switched it out at the last minute.
Oh,
Sorry, Mr. Mitya, but you were at the theater today, yes?
of course I was. Remember? I said hello to all the troupe members before the show started. You, Odette, and the others.
So, what did Odette sing today?
Elegy of the Snow-Winged Goose, of course.
Correct. You find my singing boring, don't you? That's why you don't remember a single song.
No, that's not it. All right, I'll be straight with you. I'm sorry. I enjoy watching your shows because the exquisite performances stimulate the mind. It always sparks some... So, whenever I get stuck at work, I come to the theater for a change of pace. Odette's dance during the Elegy of the Snow-Winged Goose today was simply incredible. It got me wondering what she's been going through recently. That look of sheer defiance in the face of utter tragedy? It was so inspiring. I started scribbling in my notebook right up. Not that I made a ton of progress in the grand scheme of things, but I still think it was productive. By the time I snapped out of it, the entire show had finished.
So what you're saying is, you didn't listen to my singing at all?
Unfortunately not. I'm sorry. I don't know which is more disrespectful. The fact that I don't always come for the show itself, or the fact that I missed your performance.
Seems like things are getting a little awkward.
Mitya just stepped into a conversational minefield. If there's one thing Vodyanica doesn't like, it's people who show disrespect for her this meeting was so hard to set up. Don't tell me it's already...
It's fine. I suppose this is affirming in its own way. Don't let it bother you.
She's showing a lot of restraint.
Well, I'll be sure to let Odette know how much you adored her performance.
Please don't say that. I always love your performances too. It's just that inspiration struck at the wrong time today.
I know, I can tell. That's why I'm sure some people can't stand it when others praise their coworkers right to their face. But not me. No, sir.
Fair enough. I still feel kinda bad, though.
But you know what I really can't stand? People who only show up to the theater to pretend that they're cultured. Makes me.
Oh, yeah, 100%. There are too many of those people around. By the time they're walking out the door, what's wrong?
I don't know if you've heard about the boss of the Iskra manufacturing plant. He isn't even a theater investor. But he box tickets only, premium drinks, even the right to request specific songs.
Well played, Vodyanitsa. Seems like she's harnessing her rage to steer the
Now that you mention it, I've interacted with that guy before. I gotta say, everyone holds him up as an example of a benevolent businessman, but I don't know. I don't see it.
Yeah, he couldn't care less about what's happening on stage. He's just there to flaunt his social status. I hate that I have to prepare programs for guys like... What's the big deal with that factory he runs anyway? I asked around a bit and heard some pretty shocking stories. Sounds like he's just another greedy capitalist.
Oh, really?
Yep, the things people are saying are pretty damning. Low wages, insanely long working hours, equipment running around the clock. And as if that's not bad enough, he also strictly forbids his employees from giving any kind of Project Stuja has now been extended so many times. We're at the point where crystal rations for the common folk are barely enough to survive on. If the rumors are true, he's in serious violation of the law.
Interesting. So you've heard about it too?
What? So it's really true?
Who knows? I've only heard the same rumors you have. But there's no smoke without fire. The rooster's been coming down on us hard lately, demanding that we track and trace every single batch of crystal. My coworkers in the Department of Energy have been tearing their hair out over it.
The rooster? I didn't realize he cared that much.
Yeah. Even though there are no restrictions on crystal trading, the poor will wind up freezing to death if we let the rich buy as much. Looks like we'll need to arrange an investigation into the Iskra manufacturing plant as soon as possible. I never knew you kept up with current affairs beyond the theater, Miss Vodyanitsa. You really have a heart for the common person. Most Fae in your position have long been indifferent to the plight of humans.
Well, those of us who choose to live in human cities are naturally going to pay attention to any significant upheaval. Isn't the rooster a Fae himself? I'm just surprised to learn that even someone with as much experience as him is getting so stressed out over Project Stuja. What is the end goal of this project anyway?
This is it. We're finally...
I'm sure Mitya can sense on some level that she's fishing for information. But since their conversation is so relaxed...
It's stressing me out too. If I'd only made better progress with my research, things wouldn't have dragged on this long.
Oh, so your work is related to Project Stuja?
That's right. The Armory Palace needs a brand new energy source. Not the power of the Light Realm and not elemental energy. Right now, the only thing that meets the requirements is the power contained within stellar linchpins. But harnessing that power is costly. Each step of the process requires enormous amounts of Kresnik crystal, from extraction to quantification to attempts at conversion. Progress has been painfully slow, and the team is getting burned out as time goes by. Sometimes, I see people staring into space as if in a trance.
Could it be that this new energy source has side effects?
No, it doesn't affect us, because the energy is used for... Okay, I got it. Stop choking me. I think we're all just exhausted. We've been working ourselves to the bone for so long with so little progress to show for it. It's no wonder people are struggling to stay motivated.
Seems like I owe you an apology. I shouldn't have gotten so mad at you for not paying attention during the show.
Don't worry about it. I count myself lucky, to be honest. I don't envy the people who work closely with the Tsaritsa herself. I'd much rather be in my current position. At least I don't have to shoulder any major responsibilities.
So they're trying to develop a completely new kind of energy. Yeah, censored by a scarf. Who would have thought?
Oh, dear. It looks like my time is up. I'm afraid I have to leave. I'm so sorry. We ended up barely talking about the theater.
That's okay. It was a pleasure chatting with you, really.
Let's make up for it next time. Yeah, hopefully once the work pressure eases up a little, I'll be able to focus more on the performance. We touched on some confidential issues today. I'd be grateful if you could keep it between us.
That gone worse.
Nice job. Why was Mitya in such a...
Sorry, routine inspection. Okay, let's go.
So he wasn't rushing to get back to work. He must have calculated that Valeri would find him here in exactly 25 minutes.
One of the main duties of the Special Assignments Battalion is to ensure that important figures stick to their schedules.
All right, time for us to get going too.
We'll settle our check too, then.
Oh, hello there. Mr. Mitya paid the check before leaving. He also asked me to pass on a message. He said it was an honor to share his tea break with Miss Vodyanitsa and her two friends.
Wait.
So he knew we were here all along? Maybe his work isn't confidential after all. Maybe the key here is the purpose of this new energy. I guess that's the next thing to look into. Vodyanitsa and Alosha have both left. Time.
You're back! You're pretty early today. Paimon was just gonna mention that. Still, there's some good news. Paimon thinks she might have figured out the source. It's like there's some kind of mysterious power affecting Paimon. Paimon's never felt this way before during any of her travel. She only started feeling this way since we arrived in Snezhnaya.
That's right. The Armory Palace needs a brand new energy source.
Could that have something to do with this?
What is it? You're making that So, they're trying to develop a new energy source here? Well, Mitya denied that the energy they're researching has any side effects. Although, he did say that, but even so, those are completely different symptoms from... it's pretty Sure, Paimon's with you there. But how, though? The robot only has a limited amount of intel. Oh, great point! They argue about Project Stuja every day. Good idea! Oh yeah, while you were out, Paimon tried all the yummy... This one seemed right up your alley. So, Paimon saved some for you. Come try it once you finish...
Alosha replied. He says that we won't be able to speak at the Vecha, but he can arrange for us to attend as visitors. Time to get ready. Then head to the Snezhnaya Vecha.
The drinks.
Miss Vodyanitsa, prima donna of the Korolievsky troupe. What a surprise meeting you here. Will you be sitting in on a session of the Vecha?
Sorry, I'm not taking interviews today. Oh good, you're here. The session's about to begin. Let's get inside.
Please wait, Miss Vodyanitsa. Could you introduce...
In summary, the energy management commitments made for the outgoing period have been delivered upon. Furthermore, both the production and consumption of Kresnik crystals, the relevant agencies have assessed the present circumstances and determined that the status quo can be sustained until the next period. For detailed statistics, I would refer you to the industry reports that have been distributed to all persons present. It should also be noted that while the recent blizzards have led to a significant... Her Majesty the Tsaritsa is giving her a financial report on disaster...
They cover the same old ground every single time. The rooster... There's a general lack of trust. People aren't seeing any tangible benefits that affect them directly. Of course...
Yeah, if it weren't for these hard copy documents, I could have at least made something up. Oh, don't mind me. I'm just out here trying to hit my interview quotas. Bring out the kvass. Ever read it? Best-sell...
If I remember correctly, you guys don't even have a sales permit. You have to sell from stalls on the street.
Okay then. Best-selling street stall newspaper in town. Still counts.
Order! We will now open the floor to the representatives. If there are no further substantive issues to discuss, we will then proceed.
Snezhnaya has a long tradition of treating members of the Fatui armed forces and their dependents favorably. But recent surveys shows that Fatui families in remote areas have access to 15% less crystal than the average civilian family in Snezhnograd. It's been said many times before, but it bears repeating now. There needs to be a clear and consistent rationale behind how crystal is allocated, or we will soon face immense public backlash.
Perhaps you wouldn't need to keep repeating yourself if you would hear me out for once. I say again, true consistency exists only in principle. In the real world, you appear to treat resource allocation as a simple function of production and population. So what about when the equipment used in production breaks down? Have you factored that into your... And do you even know how long it's been since Snezhnaya last conducted a census?
If I knew the answers to questions like that, I'm sure I'd be a very wealthy man. And I doubt I'd be going by child. I'd like to bring the focus back to the specific issue I raised. Or do you wish to deny that favorable treatment for Fatui dependents is our long-standing policy?
It's easy to be a critic when there's no accountability. That seems to be a running theme in the anti-Project Stuja cohort. Defeat the ringleader and all other problems will magically resolve themselves. That's what they seem to think. But in case you aren't aware, not one jot in my report would change whether Project Stuja continues or not.
So you have no intention whatsoever of finding a solution to this problem?
On the contrary, I'm the only one here who ever brings solution.
Child opened by speaking up for the armed forces. Regraders struck back with style and a war of words ensued. Our reporter was live on the scene to get the audience's reaction as it all unfolded. Who do you support? The people have spoken!
Now you see why they don't have a sales permit.
However this reporter wants to spin things, I haven't forgotten that Tartaglia was representing the Northland Bank, so surely their relationship can't always have been...
You two are getting off topic. Let's focus on...
Mr. Pantalone, may I speak up?
Oh, please do. I'm more than happy to save my breath.
Crystal distribution policy undergoes modifications with each new period. The ultimate goal being to find the most reasonable method of allocation, which I believe is what Mr. Tartaglia also seeks. But I fear many may have been misled on this topic by extremist activists. To clarify, Project Stuja is not the root cause of the problem. It is merely the most recent reports all point to make drastic adjustments without first considering the risk.
Renowned scholar of finance, Arapov spoke up to clarify the fiscal logic, clearly alluding to social organizations like the Rokot in his words. With the notorious Lelex still active to this day.
She's just rephrasing what Mr. Pantalone said. The Rokot are the critics he accuses of taking no responsibility. As for Lilac, you won't have heard of him yet. He's currently the most famous member of the Rokot. Ending Project Stuja has become an obsession for him. Unlike the more decent ones among, so whether it's threats, coercion, or bribery...
And since we're already on the subject, what do you think of Lelec's method? Yes, don't we all? Lelek's...
At least someone here wants to take this discussion seriously. I've been considering that issue myself. I think it would be easiest to let the Fatui handle it, since they're already in charge of Crystal shipments anyway. We may as well get them to collect some data while they're at it. Whatever you need, you can ask the Fatui to look into it for you. In terms of supervision, I think the Druzhna would be a good fit. I had hoped to discuss this with Miss Vesna, but sadly, she's not present.
I will be happy to take a note of your suggestions and present them to Commander Vesna for a decision upon her return. The Commander has always taken a keen interest in Project Stuzha. However, given the Druzhna's demanding workload, I'm afraid it may prove difficult for them to provide any practical support.
Let us refrain from jumping to conclusions until a concrete and actionable plan.
My apologies, Lord Rooster.
There are numerous issues to address here, including manpower, time sensitivity, and reporting lines. Nevertheless, I support drafting a proposal. Follow the usual procedure, and it can be raised.
In that case, I'd like to share one thought before the proposal is drafted. The issue of time sensitivity was raised just now, which I presume relates to the official reports. In fact, the Energy Commission already collects regular statistics on each urban center and its surrounding area. Would these be of any use?
That's a good idea. I read every issue of Sviet Lolaidovka's report, and although my focus is mostly on the section about equipment operation...
Be that as it may, does no one see an issue with using local data to determine Crystal quotas? In the long term, it seems like a very risky solution.
Not if they are used purely for reference. So long as we have the report from the Northland Bank's headquarters to corroborate it, no one will be able to fool me.
Very well, then. It appears that this...
Yeah, sounds good to me.
The members reached a provisional consensus on the Today, the prima donna of the Korailievsky troupe attended a session of the Snezhnograd Vecha in the company of a most charming young lady. The question...
Write anything like that again, and I'm revoking your permission to interview the troupe. Got it?
Now then, if there are no further contributions from those present, we shall proceed...
Hey, check it out! What made him vote against? Why now?
The votes have been tallied. Those in favor of continuing Project Stuzha total 61%, securing a clear majority.
That was too close. The margin has shrunk yet again. Chuganov was a huge loss.
I'll bet Lelek is behind this. I wonder how Pulcinella will respond this time.
Chuganov. I see. Lelek strikes again.
Yes, go, Lelek. Once Project Stuzha is defeated, our unwavering support would bring out...
In accordance with the result of this vote, Project Stuzha will remain in effect until the next Vecha period. We debate only for the greater glory and solidarity. The session is concluded.
I have to say, I really wasn't expecting Chuganov to vote against. Well, in principle, Snezhnaya's, as we heard, Project Stu. But even if the policy got cancelled, the Tsaritsa's energy needs wouldn't suddenly go down. I got a letter from Mr. Mitya just before today's session. He said he's confirmed that there are issues around overtime and excess in a situation, but that's a week-long process, and thus didn't make it onto the Vecha agenda this time. I don't think he suspects anything so far. Exactly. And as you know, he's a very selfish person. I was originally gonna try and flip him after he received notice of the official sanctions. Rather than just sit back and take the hit while his factory stopped production, he'd be better off voting to end, but now he's already voted against it. Which means someone must have used more forceful means to change his vote. Yeah, no one knows why Lelek is so obsessed with ending Project Stuzha, but by the looks of it, he's inching...
Lelek must have strong motivations, given how he'll stop at nothing to achieve his goal. maybe my next step should be to focus on him.
Oh, right. What are your plans for the rest of the day?
Hey, comrade. I noticed you were here during the debate.
I didn't take you for a political enthusiast.
Greetings, Harbingers. I just happened to have some free time today, and my new friend here thought it might be fun to check out the Vetcha.
Ah, Odette must have introduced you. Looks like you two are getting along pretty well.
I'll leave you to catch up. I should head back to the troop.
Sure. Break a leg and all that. Thought it might be fun to check out the Vetcha, did you? Things are never that simple with you, Traveler. There's no way you're here for kicks and giggles.
Oh, yeah. To some, he's a captivating enigma. To others, he's the bane of their existence. No one ever thought that some anonymous nobody from the Rokot could cause such a stir. Huh? You want to look into Lelik? Then I'm sure his days of anonymity are numbered.
Fine by me, I guess. If the Traveler actually manages to expose Lelik, it'll be in return, it seems fair to let her in on what we've learned so far.
My thoughts exactly. Sharing is caring after all. Head back to Glupov and grab the files on Lelik. It's easier to just pull the record.
As you command, child, sir.
In that case, since we're going to be waiting...
One common thread among the many incidents Lelik has been involved in is that the victims are all too scared to share any real information about him. His modus operandi is to silently infiltrate the scene and leave a threatening letter behind. But neither the letters nor the crime scenes ever yield any clues to his identity. So all these files have to offer are—
If nothing else, it shows we're dealing with a trained professional who's versed in counter surveillance.
Yes, and to that point, he often strikes in highly secure locations. Somehow, Lelik slips right into their rooms without making a sound. There's never any eyewitnesses, nor the slightest trace of a break-in. If he can get in and out undetected, it means he can strike without warning. Not that that's ever happened. It's hard to believe that a human being could pull this off flawlessly every time. So they switched the focus of the investigation to Faye. Careful, don't underestimate me. Although truth be told...
We haven't ruled out the possibility of Lelik being human. It's...
No, not as strong as me. You'll never find the culprit with criteria like that. Let's go with a little weaker than me. Oh, you hit me right where it hurts. I'll admit, he's strong and meticulous. But can we—
She's just trying to find a reference point.
But that's the most important thing. In my opinion, anyway.
Odette. Yeah, that seems about right.
Except she's Fatui, so the likelihood of her working against us is pretty low. But yeah.
No, wait a moment.
What do you mean?
Her Fatui identity doesn't necessarily exonerate her. And when you think about it...
Plus, she wouldn't need to be such a pro at covering her tracks. She'd already know where the Fatui... Oh, yikes. I was just thinking out loud. Still, what reason could Odette possibly have for trying...
Arlecchino would be the best person to ask. She knows Odette best. Rosaline used to open up to her in private about her struggles with Odette. As I'm sure you can imagine, Arlecchino is quite a lot better with children than Rosaline was. She gave her some tips on how to handle the situation, and Rosaline managed to reach a settlement with Odette before leaving. So I suppose beyond that, I don't know the details about that side of things. But the reason being, her father passed away during the early stages of the project. That was back before it had been named Project Snezhnaya, when things were still being worked out. But in
the more you know. Rosaline was always so self-centered. I never understood why she started paying so much attention to Odette. Is that such a surprise? If you cast your mind back, you may remember that Rosaline and I weren't exactly close.
Odette's past is no secret. On the surface, it looks like she followed right in her parents' footsteps. But the truth is quite a different story. After her father passed away on Odette was only interested in ballet at the time. But this tragedy left the family with both breadwinners gone. Per Capitano's policy, family family members of Fatui who died in the line of duty had to be appropriate. So, regardless of how Rosaline may have felt about it, it fell to her to resolve the issue of Odette's family's livelihood. In the...
Right, because the alternative would have been a one-off compensation payment, I guess. And that still, she must have had mixed feelings about it, right?
It's just a theory. A possibility. But as a motive for Odette to become Lelik, it holds up. That said, I have no idea where Odette's head is at right now, or what her conflict with Rosaline was about. Plenty of people were on bad terms with... Yes, but there's not much point in discussing that now.
Yeah, back to Lelik. Since our investigations so far have turned up next to nothing, we've got nothing to lose by trying a new angle. Funnily enough, Tonya and I had actually made plans to go to the theater tomorrow to watch Odette's rehearsal. Which means you can go in my place. No.
Spirit Seeker. Quite the classic ballet. It was passed down through Odette's mother's family for generations. But Odette's been practicing it diligently, and it's finally ready for a return to the stage.
Tonya's excited for it too. She's desperate to see it no matter what. Personally, it's not really...
I've actually seen it several times before. The story's pretty straightforward. It's a tale of love and regret. So not exactly reinventing the wheel, but when that classic melody kicks in and the lead character begins to dance. Not an easy dance to do justice to, though. I know it's always been Odette's dream to perform this piece.
In that case, I think that even if she is Lelik, we should wait until her performance is over before we respond. I'll let you take it from here, comrade.
How tiresome. Pick up the pace.
Sounds like you've made a ton of progress today. Next step is to head back to the theater and get a clear answer from either way. Paimon doesn't get the sense that she's a bad person. Sure, she might have done some pretty... Maybe this is going too far, but like... With everything she's managed to do, why leave a letter when she could, well, we know there are plenty of other ways, so... If it is her, she's got some Yeah! Well, all you can do... No change, really. But that thing Paimon told you about yesterday? Oh... Hearing you talk about your day makes Paimon itch for an adventure. If only she could be there.
Yeah, I wish you could be there too. I'm not used to adventuring alone. But don't worry.
Guess it's just one of those things. Never mind. Paimon will behave herself and keep resting.
If Odette is Lelik, she may well have inside information on Project Stuzha. Her father was involved with the project's early implementation and tragically died in the process. It's hard to imagine she could have gotten this far without knowing anything at all about the Tsaritsa's true intentions. When she spoke to us as a member of the Fatui...
Hey,